How you guys doing out there? What is the word? How you feeling? Yeah, how you feeling out there? What is up? How you doing? How's it going? What's going on? Ah, man, this is so freaking cool. It is Monday, and yeah, it is super hot in here, but how's it going out there, guys? I'm Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, and welcome to the dark side of the room. This is the show where we talk about a bunch of different things. And I love talking about different things. Honestly, I love talking about different things with y'all. So, it is so good to be here. Like I said, it's good to be here. It's good to see you guys. I'm really digging most of the stuff that is going on. So, we have a lot of stuff to cover. A lot of stuff to cover. A lot of stuff to talk about. It has been a weekend, y'all. It has been a weekend. So let's talk about a couple of things. But before we do, I have a couple of announcements, and I gotta do a little begging. All right, that's what I gotta do. I gotta do that whole thing. But first thing I'm gonna do is invite y'all to my Discord server. Yeah, that's right. We have a Discord server, and I try and be pretty all right. I really do. I try and be all right about hang on here. Nope. Ah, yeah, I try and be all right about checking in on it. But yeah, this is it. This is our Discord server. Look at this. This is awesome. Yeah, we got our Discord going, and how can I put it? We're really happy about all of this stuff. But yeah, I got announcements going. I got a bunch, and I mean that. I got a bunch of different things to show you guys and to talk about with you. So I just put an invitation there. Look at all that. All right. Cool. Look at all this. So yeah, we are going to have some serious discussions, some seriously good stuff happening today in the whole thing. But I would say send me an email and all that stuff. Just leave me a comment. Talk to me right here in the chat. And that is the chat both on Twitch and on YouTube. That's right. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and you can watch there as well. But I know if you're at work, it's a lot easier to sneak Twitch past your boss at your computer than it is to sneak YouTube past. I totally get that. But yeah, so we are going to be talking about optimum decisions and optimizing your gameplay at any particular time. So that is kind of a thing. Hey, look at this. Yeah, seriously, if you're on YouTube and you're looking for a link, you can just scroll down a little bit and it'll say share this video, and there you go. Just share right there. Or of course, you can always copy and paste that particular thing. But let's see if I can find you a link to share in here. Let me just there we go. All right, so just this once I was able to pick that up and all that jazz. Oh my god, wow, Glenn Couch is like, seriously, wow, look at this. This is weird. We got Glenn Couch over on Twitch and Clever Little Vixen on YouTube. That's a switch. That's a switch for today, but that's very cool. Oh, all right. So yeah, there you go. I just put up the whole thing, and by the way, yeah, here's a link on that one as well. So yeah, this weekend we were doing a lot of stuff. Okay, so much stuff this weekend. Primarily, I was trying to get some rest, but I spent a lot of time writing because it's time I started doing more YouTube links. All right, I gotta get, I gotta grow the community because we have a lot of work out there that we need to do, and that is really important to do the work. But if y'all want to help me do the work out there, and I truly hope that you do, you can easily do it by going scrolling up a little bit on your Twitch feed and all that stuff, or look in the link below if you're looking at us from the future, and checking out our Patreon. That's patreon.com/BID_P. and you can become a decker for for a few bucks a month. If you are willing to go $20 a month or higher, well, guess what? You end up, what is this? Oh my God. You end up helping out our community outreach stuff. That means the lion's share of whatever you put up goes to our community outreach, which is setting up gaming clubs and all that stuff, and community centers and after school programs and stuff, as far as our budget will let us reach. We're talking from San Diego to Oregon, all the way to Austin, Texas. I'm working on setting up one in South Africa right now with one of our prime deckers, and our prime deckers were the first 10 people to ever throw in on our company and what we were trying to do. So we're working on that for real and pretty hardcore. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna let them know that we are on, hopefully, because they're like 8 hours ahead of us, so it's like 11 o'clock their time. So yeah, we gonna do that. But today's topic is something that came up in a panel that I did. I think it was last night. Cause yeah. Let's see. Check out the YouTube channel or twitch.tv/ where's the slash button? BID twitch.com. Yeah, that's Triptych. TWI Twitch.tv/BID_P. On right now. Yeah, gotta love it. Checking out all of the international stuff. That's the thing about being on the West Coast. Most of our stuff is like, man, oh man, Glenn Couch, I had a Domino's delivery get mad at me because I didn't tip, despite the fact that this was a replacement pizza because they messed up my order. That's a tough one. That's a tough one because, the tip goes to the driver, and the driver had to make the trip twice. And should the driver not get money because the kitchen messed up? I don't know. That's a weird one. Of course, don't get me wrong, I generally don't tip my drivers because if I'm ordering pizza, that means I'm broke to start with. So I'm not sure how that's going to go. More to the point, I'm broke, I'm hungry, and the grocery store is closed. So, welcome to living in LA, y'all. So yeah, today we got a couple of other things, but I want to make an announcement because, like I said, these are the ways that you can help the channel. You can definitely help the channel by subscribing, of course. And that's subscribing to the Twitch channel. That really helps us out a great deal. And guess what, y'all? One of the things I did over the weekend, and this was a tough one, we got them merches. What is up? I want to give y'all a hug, and so does Lil Saw. Come on in. We got a special sale. You'll be walking out with a Lil Saw t-shirt for like $25. I only get a small cut of these, but yeah, we got the t-shirt. We got the logo right here. Look at the logo right there, because yeah, that is all pretty awesome. So you guys want to show your decker support and all that jazz, just head on over to the website that I will be sharing right here. I got so many, just so many, so many links for you guys today. It's like, oh man, yeah, just look at this and look at that and look at this, and boom, and I need that. All right, there we go. All right, so now that we got all that done, so yeah, y'all want a t-shirt? And also keep looking at the site, because we got mugs and stickers and notepads and all that stuff for you GMs coming up and all that. So yeah, honestly, check it out. Get some merch, get some stuff. Quite honestly, I got a little bit. I'm going to be getting a little more, and as soon as the next bit of cash comes out, I'm going to be ordering up a bunch myself to send to the patrons, okay, to all the folks on the royalty tier. And not to mention, I could always use a couple more T-shirts and all that jazz. But yeah, I'm gonna get myself a couple of back in the deck coffee mugs. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Um, so yeah, so with all that, but Lil Saul is cute. I like Lil Saul. He's one of my favorite dudes. So yeah, so with all that, all right, I want to get into. Yeah, yeah. Matter of fact, Glenn, yeah, with the T-shirts and all that stuff, yeah, there are back in the deck, wife beaters on the, in the merch store. So check them out, okay? I mean, we got the crew necks and all that other stuff. Well, you know what? Let us seriously, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the store. I'm very proud of it. Like seriously. If you've been with the channel for a while, I've been looking for a decent merch distributor, and I was gonna do all my merchandise. I was gonna do all of my merchandise in store, right? I was gonna do it in house, but I just don't have the money for infrastructure, So yeah, let's take a look at this. Hey, what's going on, Alphatogen? Your stuff is going out on the 6th of June. That is when I'm mailing out everything, like, seriously speaking, everything. You're getting a big box. You're getting like a 3-month box on this one. But yeah, oh, there we go. Yeah, we got the back of the deck tank tops. What? That's right. All right, look at all that. We got Lil Saul on a shirt. And this is the part that I'm very happy about. Okay, I'm really happy about this. But they come in different colors. All right, I'm a big proponent of dark colored tank tops because I got brown skin, and when you got skin as dark as mine, you shed a lot of skin and it looks dirty. Okay, everybody sheds a lot of skin, but when you're my thing, yeah, it's a thing. So yeah, we got the tank tops. Yeah, we got the tank tops. We got the hoodies. What else do we got? We got kids apparel. That's right. Matter of fact, when we got the Born In Deckers, not those. Go back. That's right. I did all this stuff through TeePublic. There we go. And yeah, cause why? Well, we got hoodies and all that stuff. We even got a onesie for the little ones. Yeah. Yeah, look at that. We got little onesies for the tiny deckers, for our little jokers down there. But pillows, the things I recommend for you guys, well, you guys are deckers, which means y'all drink a lot of hot beverages. So I would say the coffee mugs, yeah, the coffee mugs and the notebooks. Yeah, well, let's take a look at the notebooks here. Boom, boom, boom. And we're gonna have different colors and new designs every month for a little while. We're gonna check this out to see how well they sell and how interested you guys actually are in this stuff. What? Wait, what is this? Oh, this is just apparel. Yeah, no, I want to go back to my store. No, I just want to go to my store. Yeah, there we go. I'm like, that's all apparel. Yeah, I don't, yeah, because my big thing right here, stickers, magnets, masks. What else we got? I know they're here. I know they are here. Oh, there they are. Scutchow. Coffee mugs, and they're on sale for $11 right there. So yeah. Yep. Oh, don't worry about that, Alphatogen. I'm going to be doing that one again, probably tomorrow, just to keep my continuity going. You know what I mean? The choosing the right game part. Yeah, once I did that one, to let you guys know, I was in the middle of that last Tuesday, and then the hard drive, which is the heart of Back in the Deck Productions, fried, like on the air. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Hey, what happened? Blah, blah. That was such, it was very disheartening. It took me until Friday to recover the files that I needed to recover. Put up a new area of the Wizard's Tower because the old one is gone, Daddy. It's gone. It got sucked up in the void of virtual space. It was, yeah. I'm very sad, but I am going to take those notes and probably do that show tomorrow just to keep up with everything else. But I wanted to show you guys the merchandise store and all that stuff. That's why I haven't put up the contact form that has like our email address and all that. I have to make another one because I wasn't wise or well funded enough to get like a 4 terabyte external hard drive and to save all of my assets to something that would never touch the computer. So that was my bad. Lesson learned. Moving on. But today I want to talk about optimum decision making because I did a panel on Young Justice yesterday with Keith Cooper from Blurdish and on Nerd Soul. And I love talking to my people. I really love talking to my people. And when I say that, I mean my people like that are from the disenfranchised area. We were yeah, oh, it did change a lot. It's a great show. But this last episode had Zatanna doing a lot of cool stuff. And one of the people in the panel brought up, there was the big fight that happened, and Zatanna got taken down by somebody sneaking up behind her and covering her mouth. And it was like, man, you would think she has this whole thing. Like, why not set her aside and have her be sniping with spells and stuff like that? And this person is in one of my games. And it gave me some serious insight as to one of the reasons that a lot of folks don't enjoy playing tabletop games as much as they enjoy, say, video games that have a much more confined environment. Okay? When you're watching TV, it's really easy to be like, "No, girl, don't walk in there. He behind the door." Or when you're reading a book, you can be like, "Don't like where this is going. Hang on, page, page, page. Okay, page, page." That kind of thing. All right. That is pretty simple. But when you're playing a tabletop role-playing game and you are writing and playing the character as the plot is unfolding, a little bit gets weird. Now, Friday we talked about bleed. Okay, we talked about bleed. And this is sort of a consequence to that. But that consequence being this, all right? When you're actually playing these games, you're doing creative storytelling, and this is something that I'm always talking to people about because it's something that I see frees up a lot of people in the same way it froze me up when I was in school. Okay. And when I say froze up, I mean gets people stuck. All right. Now, this is part of a confession. Now, like I said, I have been writing little 10-minute things, like little synopses of our conversations that we have here at 3 to put up on YouTube and, put up some digestible bites for people and keep more content going up on the Patreon and all that stuff. I'm trying to get all this stuff together. But my problem is a perfectionism born of being discriminated against. Okay? And what does that mean? That means whenever in most of my life, when I wanted to create something or make something, I tend to be held to a standard that is unreachable by regular people. All right? If I was, say, going to create terrain, I've actually had people pull out protractors and squares to make sure that the walls on the buildings that I built was square, because if not, it would be unfair to play on that board because somebody would have an advantage. And I'm like, you don't do this when you buy stuff from the store. And they're like, well, when I buy stuff from the store, I know they have teams and machines and stuff like that. Needless to say, I don't play with those people anymore. But I don't know if it's because I grew up in the hood or what, but it was always the okay, I got this. Like, there's an old routine of Eddie Murphy. I think it was in Raw or Delirious, where he was talking about wanting to go to McDonald's, and his mom is like, "Man, I'll make you a burger 4 times better than McDonald's," and the punchline was it was like this big greasy piece of thing and all that stuff. Um, Thank you. I think it was Raw. Thank you, Glenn. Um, and he's sitting up with this big old greasy burger with a bell pepper on top. And don't get me wrong, as an adult, that is better than McDonald's. It's actual meat, you know. But the kids in the neighborhood start laughing at him, and there seems to be an arrested development in the past few generations that state unless it's bought from a company, it sucks. Now, I could go on about capitalism and stuff like that, but that's for our meeting tomorrow night down by the docks. Wear a mask. Anyway, um, but when it comes down, yeah, exactly. Where'd you get that welfare burger at? Um, and so every time I try and create something, anything, I get those kids, those bosses, those teachers, those supervisors, those coworkers in my head always saying, it ain't good enough, it ain't good enough, it ain't good enough. Now, when I was a very young adult, I hung out with a lot of famous people and a lot of people who have become famous since then. And as I was trying to learn their world, they would talk to me the way producers and stuff talk to them, but they didn't give me any guidance because they didn't realize how much guidance they had. Okay? This is important because this shines a lot on sometimes people want to help, but when they come from an abusive environment, the hood, the entertainment industry, whatever, their version of help is what is often known as abuse. So when it comes to creating anything, okay, um, when it comes to creating anything, playing games, making my own decisions, a lot of the times I can get tripped up by all those things. And I try and make the best video, the best presentation, the best script. I'm trying to craft my words and not waste any words, not use 15 words to say what I could have said more clearly in five, you know? Um, and here's the thing, it is great to want to be good at your craft. However, when I talk to people that I inadvertently life coach, I ask I ask them the questions that I ask myself. And the question that I have to ask at this is what you're doing a tool or a weapon that you're wielding against yourself? All right? I have so many games where folks are so concerned about making the optimum decision. And by that, you've heard me use the phrase silver bullet solutions. They are so set on doing the one thing that will end the plot right now. The one thing that will kill the bad guy, rescue the princess, save the kingdom, make everyone prosperous, put them on an economic system that isn't destined to fall, and eliminate all greed. If I just pick the right peach. And oh my God. Now, how did this come up? Because the question of, well, couldn't they have just? And this, like, follow me on this one. How many times have you guys in your lives or in watching entertainment um looked back after the show and gone, couldn't they have just done this and ended that? There's a whole YouTube comedy channel called How It Should Have Ended that's based on that particular principle. Okay, it's called How It Should Have Ended. Um, and as a storyteller, I know that whenever the good guys, excuse me, uh, Ooh, my camera died. Um, hopefully, yeah, hopefully, I'll be right back, y'all. Right back. Hang on. We are gonna go here. We're gonna fade into here. Then we are gonna go here. There, there, boom, 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 boom. Sorry, trying to fix my camera without turning off the feed. I stepped on the wrong cable. There we go. Haha. So yeah, exactly. Seeing solutions in third person, also um, Monday morning quarterbacking, wheelchair generaling. It's really easy in third person when you are not in the moment and you're calm and you've had 8 hours to think about what could have happened better. You know, um, and in truth, you know, yeah, the eagle kind and the one ring skit depot. Yeah, seriously. For the people who only watch the movies, why didn't the Eagles just take them? Couldn't they just gotten a ride from the Eagles? Those kind of things. And I'm not going to talk about the wheelchair general, the Monday morning quarterback. All right. What I'm talking about are the people that try and look for those solutions in the moment of gameplay. All right. Now, there has been a long history of what I call the chess myth. Okay. Um, the long history of the chess myth. What is the chess myth? The two old dudes that are staring at a chessboard. Now they're playing a game and they're going, until you realize, um, until you realize that they started that game when they were in their 20s. Now they're two old men sitting in Central Park. And I think a lot of that, and this is speculation on my part. I think a lot of people do that because one, they're afraid of taking the air out of the room, and two, they're afraid of making mistakes or losing or whatever. Okay. But when it comes to tabletop role playing games or even tabletop miniature games or strategy games, um, as much as we want to find the silver bullet solution, I know a lot of the times we're afraid of the silver bullet destruction. Okay? We're always afraid that the next move we make shall be our last. We don't like knowing where we lost the game. Um, but here's the big thing, it's just a game, number one. One of my big things that makes people mad. No, not that one. Not make a mistake and confuse the enemy. Um, Although that does make people mad. One of the big things about me that makes people mad is winning against me doesn't feel like an accomplishment to most people because I'm like, wow, gotta not do that again. And that's it. Okay, sometimes if I lose and it's hilarious, or if I make the wrong move, and I mean that the wrong move, um, in say a tabletop role playing experience, that gives more plot, that gives more story. You know, um, I read a lot of books. Okay, or should I say, I read a lot of books compared to the average person. I think I go through maybe 13, 14 books a year. So I read about a book a month. A little more than a book a month. Sometimes it's the same books over and over again. But, I try and keep up reading just so that I understand storytelling a lot more. And the truth is, um, there is a thought that if all the players or all the characters in a story do things that make sense, the author has to work harder, and authors are just lazy. And I want to debunk that, okay? Because the big thing is this: every piece of storytelling and entertainment. What was it this last month? In May, I reread the Dresden Files Skin Game, White Knight, Summer Night, and Ghost Story. I had to reread those. I may pull out my Discworld books again. I may do some stuff from some of the creators that I see. I'm thinking about reading the books from Seth Sarkowski. But if your main character doesn't really make any mistakes, um, at least any oh, no, I don't just read fantasy. I used to read a lot of sci-fi. I read a lot of comic adventure. And I read a lot of instruction manuals and textbooks, you know. My girlfriend and I are currently working on the textbook of how to write a proper grant proposal. Cuz that's work. Anyway, um so looking at stories where the main character gets outwitted, or um or they make errors and mistakes and they fall for traps, that's plot development. You know, that's plot development. That's character growth. And that's honestly some of my favorite parts of most stories. I know there is a a genre of storytelling that I call competence porn. You know, you have the people that are the best of the best of the best of the best that go out there, they make all the right moves and stuff. And I grew up and I really studied film noir. Okay, I love noir. I love pulp detective stuff. I practically ate every page of the Walter Mosley books, where you get like the Easy Rollins detective stories, and you know, the Sam Spade novels like the Maltese Falcon and things like that. And you know, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of a relatively competent character in a world that hates them. So I run stories in a no, this is a world, but the world isn't always on your side. It's not always against you, but it's not always for you. Most of the time, the world is indifferent to you, except in the ways that you affect it. Um, so yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I like to write. So when people are straining to make the most proper decision, there are a few things that tend to be against them. Number one, agency of, I guess you can say, supporting characters or NPCs. All right. In the description, I said we're going to be talking about how trying to make the most optimum move can stall everything out. Um, I've been at many tables, where it was the player's turn, and the player didn't know what to do. They didn't know whether or not they wanted to search for traps, or start a combat, or they didn't know how to solve a puzzle. But even though they didn't know how, they were acting like everything was a bomb and there was only one proper wire to cut. But of all the wires there were, they were all the same color. So they're like, wait, I think I'm gonna, well, can I, you know? And I'm going, relax. It's just a game, you know? Now make no mistake. I am a very, 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 very layered GM. And I say very layered, okay? Whenever I put something on there, on a board, and if you guys have been watching for a while, you'll know, um, I have a minimum of 3 solutions to every single problem that I pose to my players. I used to have a minimum of 8. But video games have made it, I guess, since Fable and Knights of the Old Republic, even to Fallout, they tend to put 2 to 3. And so that is one of the really big things. Sometimes off a Toggin, sometimes the only wrong answer is usually none at all. But a good amount of the time, your GM will have um, a plot consequence for nothing at all. And this is one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about today. Now, there are loads of videos on how to um enthrall your players, engage your players, and make them do stuff. I like the idea of timers. And when I say I like the idea, that means I like the idea. I've never put it into practice. Because most of the players that I've been getting are they're split down the middle. Okay? Half of them are afraid of making the wrong move and looking stupid. A quarter of them are afraid of taking all the air out of the room and ruining it for everyone else. And that last quarter, guns out, capes on, let's do this. And the truth is, yes, Glenn, timers tend to make anxious players shut down. Now, I am personally having a bit of a problem currently, which is why I'm not going to come to you with solutions about anxiety, because there are so many flavors of anxiety and it's so widespread in this day and age that there is no silver bullet answer. Okay? Especially since even questioning someone's anxiety tends to trigger their anxiety. Thanks, parents. But yeah, so but what I can do is, if you are a sufferer of this, what I can say is to take a deep breath and realize that it is only a game. You don't have to be funny. You don't have to be the main character. You do not have to create you do not have to create a scene that will go down in memory for the next 30 years of people's gameplay. Okay? That's not your job. It really isn't. You know why it's not your job? Because it's a game. It's not a job. And if it is a job, okay, it's probably not your job to change the company, to improve the company, to raise profits, regardless of what your manager tells you. I mean, quite seriously. All right? I am a really big fan of teamwork, as you guys know. And sometimes dialogue. Dialogue tends to be the thing that I love when players do. Okay, I love it. I have no idea what I'm doing. I always try to encourage characters to be like, I don't know what I can do. What are some of what are the suggestions that the DM has for my player? And my solution, and you guys have seen me do this if you watched Warp Tumblers, C24, Dark Matter, whichever games that you guys have watched me run. I let the players know what skills could apply to this circumstance, okay? Either by telling them to make a direct check against these, or telling them that any of the players can make a roll for these 3 subjects, or letting them know what skills they have and what might apply. Okay, there's a lot of different ways that a person can get through stuff. A board game tends to have one solution. Most video games have one solution, maybe 2. You know, you might be able to bonk it with your head or jump over it and keep running. Yes, I'm talking 8-bit platformers. Sue me. But all in all, when this stuff comes down, it is very possible, very, 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 very possible to come up with 4, 5, 6 different solutions. You know, this is where being creative comes in. And while we're at it, let's talk about being creative. Um, because the more I do this and the more that I talk to younger players and less experienced players, the more I shake my fist at our education system. We move way too forward on half cocked ideas. Okay. When folks say be creative, they don't tell you what being creative is. And most people think, well, I shall be creative. Yes, I will create something out of whole cloth within a vacuum. Not something based on the surroundings, not something based on what I have to work with. And this is something that if you get nothing else from today's episode, with your creations, I don't care if you're kit bashing or if you're doing miniatures or whatever it is that you're doing, I don't care. Okay? The creativity that counts is making something cool for what you're doing right now out of whatever you have. Okay? But this is important. Something cool for right now out of whatever it is you have. Okay, I'll say it again. I know I feel like a preacher. Something cool for the situation at hand out of what you have right now. All right, now let me explain. When most people hear creative, they think they have to come up with something original that no one's ever seen before, ever, period. And so what they end up doing is they're going through their mental Rolodex for everything they've ever seen and known. Most of the things that the people around them have seen and known that they might not have. And then what can I do that isn't any of those 1,000 things? That is torture. And I will tell you quite honestly, I'm telling you this not because I am some fantastically brilliant guy that's plugged into the powers of the universe, but because I'm a dude that's lived and seen how professionals do it. Okay? The people who do it for a living, they don't create whole cloth. They transmute from one thing to another. All right? They'll take Casablanca and make barbed wire. Sorry. They'll take The Wizard of Oz and make Labyrinth. Watch them both back to back. You'll be surprised. And though the new thing is something that people don't recognize upon further examination, people will be like, "Oh my God, they just did this." But real creativity, the real genius ideas all throughout history have been stuff that's so obvious once you got it that it's like, why didn't we think of this? Oh my God, it's just so simple. So, and all of those things are taking what you got and solving a problem with it, finding a solution to the problem. Look at Amazon. I want to order books on I want a quicker way to mail order books. That's it. That's all. All freaking Twitter, like all social media is absolutely BBS boards or the new way to pass notes in class. Oh, yeah, Clever Little Vixen brings up a good point. So when it comes to playing these games, clear communication, really good. That is really, 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 really important. Communicate with your players, okay? Communicate clearly in languages that both folks understand. I know I deal with a lot of people that try and communicate clearly, but with as few words as possible. And a lot of times they don't quite realize that I don't know what they're talking about. I know so many people that speak in pronouns and change the subject a lot slower than I think. And I'm going, I don't know what you're talking about. Stop saying it. Stop saying that. What do you mean? um, but that's a whole nother subject for a whole different time. But when you're communicating with your players, when you're locked up, okay, when you're locked up, you can communicate. You can communicate with your GM. You can communicate with your other players, being like, I don't know what to do. Does anyone have any suggestions for my character? Anything I can think about? And if you're being asked this question, give just that, suggestions. Don't tell them what to do. Because remember, it's their character. They play whatever. And in life, people don't have to do what you tell them to do. Okay? There are always consequences. But truth, a whole lot of really good friendships are made out of two things. One, knowing someone for who they are and liking them anyway. And second, knowing that most calamities are stuff that you can look back in 5 years, laugh nervously, and change the subject about. All right? This stuff ain't that critical. Last week on C24 came one of my favorite moments when the druid's like, I cast Entangle Vines, and entangled the monster, like tied the monster to the person that it was on top of. So now they're tied together, and the monster's going, cool, she can't run. And since these are low-level characters, the druid that did this was like, oh, oops. Crap. What do I do now? I don't know, crap. I can't even shoot it with fire now because they're tied up, you know? So, yeah. Hang on. So, yeah, in a nutshell, a lot of this stuff comes down to communication, but although this character didn't do the optimum thing, she did something. Okay? And when she was able to do something, I, as the GM, was able to craft a narrative around what she did that was fun, engaging, and move the game along. And that is the entire point of today's episode. All right? I understand what it's like to have anxiety, and I'm going to say this outright, and don't feel judged, all right? But most anxiety comes from a sincere lack of trust about the goodness of the people around you, okay? And it's understandable, especially when you're sitting at a table full of strangers. Real talk, I've GM'd for many players who thought that the entire game was about beating me. About saying, look at me, I'm so clever, I'm smarter than you. And I let them know, this isn't fun for me. You know, I've been at hyper-competitive tables where it wasn't just about beating me in a game, it was about crushing me and crushing my spirit. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't fun. So, okay, I'm done. And I do that so that I don't get all mad and yelling and screaming. This is not what I want to do for fun. That's not amusing to me. So, but after talking with a lot of players, I was told by a lot of people that they learned that all games are competitions. The game of life, the game of business. If you're playing Monopoly, that's real life. When you're at work, you're competing with everyone. And I think back on my upbringing, even in school, where everything was about competition with everyone else. Had to be a good athlete. And if you don't have any athletic aptitude, we'll have academic competitions. And if one person in class is doing well and the person sitting next to them is doing terribly. The person sitting next to them is always compared to them. Like, this is, you know, it's pretty toxic. And we call this escapism because that's what we want to do. We are trying to escape. Yeah, we're really trying to escape those kinds of things. Fun is a lack of the things that causes us trauma. Okay? Hopefully it's an inclusion of what causes us joy. But yeah. But as soon as I was able to get players to understand that it's not about beating me. Yes, in the combat, it's about beating the monster that I'm playing for. You know, but here's the thing. I want you to beat them. I want you to solve the mystery or save the girl or save the kingdom or defeat the monster and be like, yay, look at us. We saved the universe. Where's my cape? Yeah. You know, that's what I want. However, I can't just say, I can't stack everything in your favor to the point where everything is easy, because that too isn't fun. I grew up watching The Twilight Zone. I'm sorry, Mr. Farnsby. This is the other place type of thing. Let's see how Vixabel cosplay is in. I heard a DM tip today that one of the best things you can do for your players is to create a game that plays to their character's strengths. Absolutely. This is why it is important to write a very decent backstory. Don't worry, I'm putting up a YouTube video on that in the next couple of weeks. All right. Where are my? Yeah, as a matter of fact, just to let you guys know, these right here are the notes for my next 10 YouTube videos that'll also be on the Patreon. So yeah. All right. So, oh, cool. Hit me up in the Discord, and I'll talk to you about CR. Okay. So yeah, this is all there. But as far as making the optimum decision to sit stuff and be like, oh no, wait, I see a puzzle. Hang on. That hang on takes up limited game time. So do something. You know, pass your turn, ask for advice, have your character work on the code to the space station in the same way that a 15-year-old does when they fight a 40-year-old black belt. You know, one of those two. But do something. And in all honesty, don't worry about accidentally killing off the whole party or killing off your character, okay? Or taking all the air out of the room. If you're at a table where people expect perfection out of you, then you might be at the wrong table. Especially when you can find faults in the way that they play their games. You know? Yes. Yes. I'm loving the conversation in the chat right now. You guys are awesome. You rock. Party dies. No. But I want to know what you guys think about that. Like I said, I'm going to do a secondary announcement on all this because I am very proud that we finally got the merch store up. Because yeah, I'm super happy with that. You know, like I said, yes, there is a merch store. Let me just pull this up to where it needs to be right there. And yeah, we're just gonna head on over to the merch store. That's right, we got the Lil Saul hug mug. I hate when people call me when I'm in the middle of a show. Yeah, just let me just put the link right here. And yeah, link is still up there. Boom boom. Yeah, I mean, we got the t-shirts going. I'm a big fan of that. Tank tops. You can always get a Lil Saul hoodie if you want to represent. Haha, represent with the hoodie. Or, back in the deck logo thing, that kind of thing. Um, yeah, I'm a really, really, really big fan of this stuff. Baseball tees, this is a weird one for me. It really is. The baseball tees are a little bit weird for me because I haven't actually worn stuff like this since I was a child. Oh, and there's a sale happening. Yay! Yeah, there's a sale on that right now. You know, and yeah, so, we got the long sleeve tees. I recommend the notebooks and the coffee mugs because I write down a lot of stuff and I drink a lot of coffee. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that is so awesome. And here's the great thing, the hardcover notebook, it comes in ruled or just plain blank pages. We can get a or a spiral notebook, which is also cool. They're going for like 15 bucks right now, so I'm a big thing. It's back in the deck. That's right, notebooks for GM notes. That's one of the big things I'm always down for. And don't worry if you guys don't like the apparel colors, because I mean that again. I love the Lil Saul shirt, but they come in all these colors. So if you want them white, or if red is your thing, or a wine color, or orange, yay, orange, or pink, for those people that like pink, So yeah, I mean this is a thing. I'm really happy about that. So yeah, the link is in the chat, and I believe it's in the description on the on the YouTube. So yeah, this is a whole thing. This is something that I did, like, this is one of the things I spent the weekend doing. Um, I love transparency. Since I'm using a service, I found the best deal that I could. But real talk, share this with your friends. Maybe pick up, birthday presents and stuff. Y'all know how I am about fiscal disclosure. I only get like $4 a shirt, so it's a thing. But I figure I should have it because Lil Saul is out there. Some of the other merch that's on the Patreon, I have Lil Saul 3D keychains, and soon I'll have the Lil Saul pop figures back up, or pop like figures back up. So yeah, these are the things that we got going. These are the stuff that we got going. If you guys got any other questions on that stuff, hit me up in the Discord, and I will be happy to answer your questions. Not yet. No dice sets yet. The interesting thing is I know someone who designs dice and things like that, so I may be talking to them. Okay, I may be talking to them, trying to come up with some design for Bid P dice. Okay, I would really like to do Bid P dice. That would be awesome. Um, you know, getting there, getting some warp tumblers. I'm working with some warp tumblers theme stuff. But I'll be putting new stuff in the merchandise store. Excuse me, every single month there's going to be more stuff coming in. I have a lot of designs all the way out, and I'm working on more all the time. Thing is, I'm not a graphic designer, so it comes down to what I can pay my graphic designer. You get me? But I'm very blessed to have a very talented graphic designer in my corner who is literally an award-winning illustrator that will do stuff for me like this if I go and I work on her house. So that is kind of a thing. Always getting that hustle on and always working with other deckers. So yeah, this is some really cool stuff. So yeah, check it out. Check that stuff out. Like I said, we'll have more stuff coming. Yeah, in-kind trade. That's right. That's the stuff we're going. So send me an email. All right. Or not an email, but hit me up on the Discord or keep watching the shows and pass on the links to your people. All right. Oh, look, we're being played off. Yeah, pass on the links to some of your people. You can reach me here in the Discord. Yay. And yes, we have the merch. Again, I'm just very proud. I'm very proud of doing this. I've been working on this for years, and now that it's always up. So, and here's the link to the merchandise store. I'm putting a button onto the Twitch channel tonight. And yeah, so seriously, to sum up, when you get stuck in analysis paralysis because you're trying to make the perfect decision, let it go. Okay? Whenever I'm crafting, building, editing videos, writing scripts, I always have to tell myself, the best is the enemy of good enough, and it is anathema to finished. Okay? I'm gonna tell you guys a quick story before we get out of here. When I was working at the Jet Propulsion Labs as a surface mount assembler, okay, this is the dude that literally puts the transistors and the diodes onto the circuit boards. That was my job. Me, tweezers, soldering iron, microscope, 9 hours a day to 30 hours in a shift. No exaggeration, okay? My supervisor, Mr. Smith, that's what I knew him as, that's all I'm gonna say, would tell me that shipped is better than perfect. Sometimes I would use too much solder, sometimes I would use too little. He always said err on the side of too much. What you're dealing with right now isn't dealing with amazing radio frequencies, so you don't have to be as precise as an American who just got a job in Germany, okay? Shipped is better than perfect, and we need to get these things out the door. And I'm like, okay, all right, that's good. That's a really, but yeah, so finish the job, do something. I'm a big fan of when you're trying to figure out how to save a civilization and the volcano's going off, just save someone. Save one person. And if you got time, save another. Save another 2 or 3. You might not save everyone, but by doing nothing, you may have inadvertently chosen to save no one. Think about that. But I'm going to say thank you guys for showing up. Major shout out to Afatagan and Alien Gathering. Erica, thank you for being here. Glenn Couch, thank you for holding it down, man. Is Nickable? Dude, seriously, thank you for being here. You're becoming like a really, really stable person. Neon Arlecchino, glad that you were here today, man. Although I didn't have to put you back under your bridge. That's new. Sony PlayStations, welcome. Taco Tuesday, 7313. With it, show up tomorrow. Vancouver by night, thank you so much. Vixabel Cosplay, we love having you in here. Holding it down like gravity, of course, is Clever Little Vixen. And of course, tomorrow, I'm going to pick up where I left off last Tuesday in picking the right game for you, all right? That is going to be, again, there's a lot of games out there, and we're going to be talking about that. Picking not just the right game, or not just picking the right game, but picking the right kind, all right? Because some people might not like tabletop RPGs. Some folks might like tabletop miniatures more. Some people might actually like just building stuff. You never know. So we're going to talk about that and talk about where, or should I say how, to find what really turns your crank when it comes to the hobby, to the hobbies and the escapism we talk. But until then, if anybody tells you that you guys can't like what you like because of the circumstances of your birth, be it race, religion, creed, gender identity, sexual orientation, any disabilities, neurodivergencies, or your budget, because I ain't never seen a housing project that didn't have a trailer park within 3 miles, you can tell them to take any of those cards and put them back in the deck. This is Solar Gray, the Cinematic Sorcerer, saying thank you guys, and we will see you next time on the dark side of the room.